but I'll always ask. Any public comment this evening? All right, thank you. Jumping right into the conversation this evening, as we begin to get a little bit closer to September, we continue to work on a number of things as it relates to the mausoleum. Been having extensive conversations with David Fleming, who is our consultant, and working with us. Jason Design, Jim Coffey, and myself had a telephone conference with him to review a number of things as we move forward. I handed out to you just moments ago, these are draft rules and regulations. There are a number of items that still need to be slugged in, including, for example, the caskets must be properly sealed, but not greater than X number of inches wide, X number of inches in height, etc. So we're gonna need to work with Connie to get a better understanding of the sizes for the locations for the caskets, etc. So that's the interments. But I would ask that you review this document. I may ask you to potentially consider it for adoption next Monday, depending on what conversations occur between now and over the next couple of days with Dave Fleming, etc. Most of this is rather standard. It includes such things.
Is it standard and it's coming to a town?
Well, I mean standard in the sense of the speed limit. You know, that shouldn't be overly complicated. There's not, a lot of room. Things like no dumping is permitted, etc. But I would ask that you review the other material, become familiarized with it, and like I said, the areas in which are open right now, I'll work with Dave to get a better sense for what's going on so we can slug some of that information in. Jason and I are still on call to make a trip down to Albany in the coming weeks. It's a matter of when it makes the most sense to get down and see representatives down there. So we'll be making a trip down there. We anticipate sooner rather than later. So that's the big information as it relates to the mausoleum, and it actually relates to the draft proposals. I wasn't sure if there'd be one or multiple, so please take a look at that. If you have questions or concerns, please come and see me. All right. Proclamation for Clinton Community College. Clinton Community College will be coming up on their 50th anniversary. The college is in the borders of the town. There's one for your consideration. Even though Deborah gave it a number, we don't need to actually pass that this evening. Going forward, there's your monthly reports for department heads, your draft resolutions, and then there is, for consideration for next Monday's meeting, the request for the RFP for financial advisor for the town of Plattsburgh, as it relates to seeing some of the direction for the capital plan potentially moving forward. So the next one is the RFP for bond counsel services for the town of Plattsburgh as well. And then the next two items that I would pass the first one over to Mr. Rick as it relates to the possible appointment of a new deputy town clerk who's also in attendance this evening. Welcome. So I'll let you give a little bit of the history there, Mr. Rick, and what you're going to be proposing next week.
One of the main reasons for hiring is to get the vault straightened out. After that, we have managed to appropriate a used computer to put down there through the goodness of the assessing department, which was a computer that came from the court downstairs that went to the assessor, and then from the assessor to me, and downstairs in the vault. So that the computer down there will be left down there. It's not on the internet, it's not on the town Wi-Fi or nothing. It's just a straight computer for that vault down there to keep the inventory correct onto it. It's in the last year and a half, it's got a little disarray to it. There's a lot of boxes down there that are inventoried, but they're not inventoried correctly in the system. So when Christina comes on board, that's gonna be one of the duties that, you know, to straighten that out. We've loaded it with the information that we have upstairs on the main computer is down there, so it'll be easier. There's probably maybe 6-8 months worth of stuff that's gotta be logged in to update it. So once that is completed in that project, then she'll come upstairs and be trained to do everything else, as be a full deputy town clerk for all the deaths, marriages, births, all of that stuff, hunting licenses, you know, the whole gamut of stuff, which will be a godsend, because I wish there was another computer upstairs where we still had the DEC stuff separately from the town computer, where you used to be able to do 2 things at once, now you can't. We have to live with what we got. And I want to commend her for one thing. She went out on her own and got her notarization from the state, so she can be a notary public, which was a good thing to have into the office, which I want to commend her for doing that on her own, not even to coming here to get it done. So that's a benefit to us and to her also. So I want to thank you for doing it.
I should have it soon, the application is on.
Did you want to provide any self-introduction, or, I mean, obviously Ricky's given us a little bit of a history, but you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, no, that's okay. No, I've got an extensive background in working with computers and programs and learning on, bookkeeping and whatnot, so it's just kind of fits right into the groove of what I want. It's part-time, and finding a part-time job on weekdays is a challenge. Definitely a challenge, so this is fitting in quite well. I'm excited about it.
What hours are you proposing?
Pardon me?
What hours are you proposing?
Tuesday through Friday. Monday she has other things that she does, and then she'll be able to work Tuesday through Friday, for 4 hours a day.
What times? Have you decided on the times you're gonna work for?
We haven't really
No.
decided, it's whatever he needs.
Yeah,
What are, you're open now,
10 to 4.
10 to 4, you should be probably open 8 to 4, right?
Well, once she gets trained, that'll probably be after the first of the year, maybe. We'll see.
That would be
So
something
not
to
all
do.
the hours will be spent down the vault as
No,
well?
no,
Okay.
no, no.
Good more room for customer service in terms of the hours.
Yep. And then she'll be able to, once she gets trained and certified, once all the other paperwork goes into the controller's office and the other stuff, so she gets certified to do all of the historical stuff on the thing, or she can sign stuff, as a deputy town clerk.
Well, we look,
Is this out of the regular budget money that you say?
Yeah, there's
Or is
money
this-
in the budget for this year, plus for next year going forward. I put the same thing, Pat and I discussed it at length there, this is going on for the past 2 months.
so the budget line never changed.
Right, it's the same thing.
Correct. So we'll ratify it, and we know that part of the reason, from what Ricky had said, you couldn't even start until that following Tuesday of next week, correct?
Oh, I could've, my company, yeah, we got miscommunication. My
Okay.
company left last Tuesday, so
Oh,
I'm
okay.
available whenever.
Okay, so, would you like the resolution for consideration tonight and it to take effect tomorrow, Rick, if that's the case?
Yeah, sure.
Did that be good for me?
Okay, I mean, because,
Can I just ask one more question?
yeah, absolutely.
Do you have software that is on the computer downstairs that she's going to be,
It's already done,
Entering data?
Angela already,
what is the software?
it's the, FileMaker plus something.
Okay.
Well, actually, I bought the program, or the town bought the program for the office back when Dan Jerry was working here. It was the same one that the counties got onto it, so that he went down and found out where they bought it and stuff, and then we got it, same thing as that. So,
It's information transferable back and forth?
Yeah, well, that's what we're gonna do, the one downstairs, and then just gonna plug in the little, what do you call them?
USB key.
Phone drive.
Yeah, and bring it upstairs and plug it into so the system will
It's all,
update.
it's all compatible now.
Right, it's all, Angela's already set it up. So,
That vault needs to be like stayed on top of for consistently for a few years.
no, I
'cause
know,
every
it's
time we
just,
get a little
but we
bit
had
more,
the
it goes
lady
back.
from the archives that was here, I mean, it's got a 80% down there, but there's stuff that needs to be done, because you don't know, somebody's gone to the box, there's a label on the box that says what's in it. If it never got put back, some of the boxes are down on the floor, stuff is taken out of it, never put back, it's laying on the shelves and stuff. So that's one of the problems, I mean, but it's getting the rest of the team here that goes downstairs to the vault to get a record. You know, we had a thing where they used to tag the yellow or red tag, that they took something out of the box, put their name on it when they took it, when they replaced it. But that went by the wayside.
And that had gone on for a number of years, and that's why you and
Yeah.
I, one of the first things we did was we asked the New York State Archival team to come up and give us some advice, and
Yep.
so I'm glad that you're jumping on this, Rick, so. There was a revised, resolution, that I handed out to you folks with, a date for this to take effect. You can cross the, August 16th out and put August 9th, which would be tomorrow, that could take effect.
So, oh, that's great.
All the vetting's been done, so you see.
Michael,
No,
on
that was the
fir-
letter, dated August 4th. Yep.
On that first resolve, so it's an appointment, not a reappointment, that's just a,
Right, it's an
Appointment.
And you wanna change the top to August the 8th instead of the 15th?
It was that updated one that I gave you, remember?
Oh, yeah, but it's still dated August the 15th,
Yeah, you can change it.
and so you wanna
Yep.
change it tonight?
Yep.
August 8th. And that'll be 160?
Yep. Alright, why don't you read it?
Whereas Town Clerk Rick Collins has submitted a letter dated August the 4th, 2016, appointing Christina Briat as Deputy Town Clerk and Deputy Register of Vital Statistics for the Town of Plattsburgh to serve at the pleasure of the Town Clerk. Therefore, it be resolved, the Town Board does hereby accept the appointment of Ms. Briat as Deputy Town Clerk and Deputy Register, and to be further resolved, Ms. Briat take the oath of office within 30 days of this resolution, and that a copy be put in her personnel file, and one be sent to the State Retirement Board. And further resolved that this takes effect on August the 9th, 2016, at a rate pay of $10 per hour. And it further be resolved, a copy of this resolution to be given to the finance manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Any?
Second.
Next, any discussion?
Should it say just appointment or reappointment,
Right.
first result?
Yep.
Alright,
Where does it say?
the first resolve.
This is, set as far as, confidentiality and all that stuff, come through.
alright. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I will call the roll.
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Mark Mannix?
Yes.
Michael Fay?
Yes.
Barb Heber?
Yes,
Mike Cash?
Yes. Resolution does carry. Welcome to the team.
thank you very much. Congratulations.
Alright. Just make sure I get it in order here. The other draft resolution for next week will be a salary adjustment for Elaine Woods. Just to give you a sense for it, Jackie did provide a letter saying permission is hereby requested to give Elaine Woods, Deputy Receiver of Taxes, a merit raise in the amount of $1.02 per hour. These funds are available in my budget to cover the increase in the salary. I believe that Elaine's work ethic, years of service experience, and working with others in general dedication that sets her apart from most. In working working with her, I have observed an unyielding commitment to do whatever task she is responsible for. Elaine is an excellent team player that respects the needs of others, is willing to collaborate to achieve excellence, and would identify no task large or small for her to take on. Please feel free to contact me if there's any questions. Jackie did put this in her budget for consideration earlier. She's providing the letter. This isn't we're not doing retroactive, it's from here moving forward. So, if you have any questions, I would encourage you to connect with Jackie.
There is a slight retroactive to August
What
7th.
is the thing?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. Yeah. But not going back to January 1st.
Right.
Yep.
What is the rate again?
I believe it's 1077, something to that effect.
It's,
So. Okay, the last item here.
are we voting on this?
We're not voting on it
Oh, we're
tonight,
not.
we're gonna vote on it.
We're gonna vote
next
on it.
week.
Okay.
Yeah. There is, I'm bringing forward a petition for, consideration for a zoning map, amendment. The map that was provided to you is one of the old Clinton County, airport. And you will notice that there is the ADTB, and then there's a section, a swath of land that is highlighted. Right in the center there, it is not currently the ADTB. Lots of conversations have been occurring with the county, with the Development Corporation, and the prospects of bringing in that new company, Norsk, and a couple of others. In talking with the planning department, they felt comfortable, and so do I, and that's why I'm bringing it forward to you. This will be, you have to go through multiple steps to the board, go to the planning department, etc. Is to connect those two sections of ADTB so that it covers the full span there. Some recommended, well, why don't you take the whole ADMU and make it the ADTB? I didn't feel comfortable doing that. This is the more conservative approach. It simply just connects those two sections, and then up along the part of the industrial entrance, that's where there's water hookup and wastewater, etc. So if there's going to be some possible development, it provides easier access to those resources. So, on Monday, I would ask for full consideration. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to me individually. You can also talk to Trevor, who has laid out the map and also a schedule for consideration. So, like anything, it'll go through multiple stages.
Where's that section? Here?
It's in this red right here. So
Oh, okay.
currently,
Wetlands are down here, huh?
yes, so currently there is no, it is 80 MU. It's proposed that these two parcels, in a sense, get connected, so it's a full,
Oh, okay, the whole, all
Full
of that
span.
red there.
correct. Yep. Yeah. So it connects those pieces. And it gives them an opportunity to connect, on some of the utilities, et cetera, from a different advantage point. They could still do it, but it makes it much easier as they potentially develop that property out there. So.
And the county's good with this parts?
Yep, that they were happy to see us consider it, as well as the Development Corporation, because they also have some interest in possibly either purchasing some land, renting, et cetera. That relationship will have to go through the county anyways, but it has to be zoned, appropriately. So. All right.
The entrance is gonna be through Industrial Boulevard?
No. There's, approximately, that's where some of our water and wastewater, some of the pipes are.
Oh, yeah.
So they
okay.
could do, points of connection there. There's a number of things. And then I think it's the vortex, that's out at the Clinton County Airport. they were hoping to have it decommissioned in July. It is still not been decommissioned, so that probably means another 2 years of government work. So,
There's a radius that nothing can be
yeah,
built
it's
around.
approximately
It's big.
1,000 feet or something like that.
They've already taken the one out on Route 22 below the racetrack, they already decommissioned that one, and that one's gone.
So, if, you know, and that was another reason for the way that the line is drawn there, is it really, it gets close to it, but it's not, it doesn't cut like right through that area. Doesn't make sense to, you know, to break that line per se.
This is what Trevor's recommending?
It's, I met with Trevor, he felt comfortable with this recommendation, looking at what we're hoping to develop, or see developed out there. I mean, long gone are, I think, the visions of the Emerald City, that some folks had hoped to see this property developed into. I mean, if anybody's seen the plans, it was quite comprehensive, but I can tell you that, Rodney, credited having that initial plan did help to move the overall efforts forward to seeing the county airport moved on over to the new property. It also, it has been helpful in having the vortex, I think that's the correct word, decommissioned. So while it's not ultimately developing the quote-unquote Emerald City type concept, it was helpful in changing the parameters of future development out there. And this property has sat out there for a very long time. Personally, I'm very excited about Norsk. As I said, I heard a number of housing developers over the last couple of weeks, and, you know, I think there'll be some good things coming forward, so.
Well, it's not just North,
No, it's not just
the
Norsk.
other stuff that's gonna come with it.
Yeah, yeah, as it's connected to their, you know, one-offs or their supply chain management, and, you know, Plattsburgh has some really remarkable companies. I had an opportunity to do a tour with TDC last week, and, you know, you've got things like Global Sugar Arts around the corner, which is, you know, the premier fondant company in the nation, you know, right here out of Plattsburgh. It's not just,
And you never know it.
yeah, it's not just Nova Boss, it's not just Sluter. We have a lot of these companies, and I think Norsk will be another one of those companies that complements the region and continues to keep us on the world stage, so.
One of the things we had talked about in the past was that the industry that was there they wanted to expand. We're still leaving room for that?
What industry?
What's that?
What industry?
The ones that
I
are.
like Savarsky,
What's that?
like Savarsky could be an
Like
example
company and stuff.
of one of the companies that's there adjoining the
In the
airport.
industrial park, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Well, and again, that's why you're not, you know, the proposal isn't changing every element out there. You know, there's beautiful view shed of the mountains, for example, on the back end of that property down near Saranac. If you look at some communities nowadays, especially with the 21st century manufacturing, there are some quote-unquote mixed uses. You know, a developer could potentially come in and develop some really high-end quality homes down on the Saranac River area and have recreation and the trail expansion, etc. We're not doing an overlay for the entire property. We're doing it where it connects those other two properties that are isolated at the moment, and trying to make the most of that corridor there, so.
Just seems like just about a third of the property anyway.
And, you know, is it a significant amount? It is a significant amount, but it's sitting there.
Yeah.
You know, and we continue to see some development and, you know, hear about some exciting things. The county reached out to me, so did TDC. To me, I think it's pretty exciting to have those individuals at the table having conversations about moving this region forward. And all of us are having that conversation, so.
You're gonna get drove out of town with me. Like this one.
Good, okay.
All right, anything more on those, particular items? entertain if someone wanted to make a motion to go into executive session to speak about a couple of items.
Personnel?
Yep. It's on the back end for consideration if someone wants to
I'll
make
make
a
a
motion.
motion to go into executive session and discuss proposed pending or current litigation, working history of several people.
Okay. And
And
that's
the litigation is with UPS on the assessment.
Still.
all right. Meg made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
And we're gonna go into executive session at 7:25. I do not anticipate this taking long. Unless you have somebody that's.
Those are the ones, the people that have already purchased, in the mausoleum already purchased space?
Yes.
Those-
So
But you're not gonna sell anymore?
we haven't determined that. I mean, my general feeling is I'm not excited to
I knew that you didn't want to,
sell
but
them
that doesn't mean you're not going to.
based upon until Connie and everybody gets their
Right.
materials
Right,
together.
right.
But the idea is that the town will not buy back.
Duh, I mean, I don't
Right,
wanna buy
but-
it, do you?
But people have different perceptions about what
Government and
should or shouldn't happen, and we don't wanna buy them back. But we also have to make sure that there's a clear process. If you own one and you wanna sell your crypt because you don't wanna be laid to rest there anymore, is there gonna be a process for you to sell it individually?
To someone else.
Well, do those contracts give you a